End of the game. Onside kick, big collision. All eyes are on you. Now what? So it's an onside kick situation. And then you got a recovery, it looks like, by the receiving team. All right. What is your ruling? Illegal block by the kicking team. First touching by the kicking team. No foul, or something else. Now, if you say, if you're in it could be first touching and illegal block. Well, just pick one. If you think it's an illegal block and there was a touch, just go with the illegal block. If you think it's just touching and no illegal block, then just go with the touching. Don't split the hair and say, well, I got both. Pick one. If it's an illegal block, then we're going to forget about the touching. If it's a first touching without the illegal block, then you're going to go that. Or you maybe go no foul, or you're going to go something else. So that's what we're going to ask ourselves. We're going to ask ourselves, do we have an illegal block by the kicking team? Do we have first touching by the kicking team? Do we have no foul? Or do we have something else? So we've got 79% said illegal block by the kicking team. 14% said no foul. 7 said, so far to 14 said first touching by the kicking team. Robert, what do you got?
From the viewers?
Whatever.
They want to see, they want to see it in slow motion.
We don't get slow motion in the real game.
I'm just being the messenger here.
Right,
they say this is one of the more difficult judgment calls to make as an official on these free kicks. That ball is approaching the receiver's restraining line. Did that receiver advance to touch? And was that contact by the kicking team player before? And was it, if so, was it legal?
These are all good questions, and you're right. Video is video, and sometimes we only get what we get. And it would have been nice to have some more views. Obviously, this isn't an ESPN game, but we're going to try to walk it through. The ball's rolling on the ground. It might be grainy. I can see it. It's now at the big line, and then it's still on the ground, and it's still there. Now the receiving team player does come up to try to field it, but what happens is that the ball, he hasn't touched it yet. It's still actually bouncing in front of him on the ground, and now he's about 9 yards. The ball has only traveled 9 yards. The receiver player is there at the 9-yard mark, but still the kicking team isn't eligible to touch the ball yet because he has not touched the ball. What happens is, and like I said, it's kind of hard to see, but then he gets run over and the ball is then deflected by a kicking team player, and then it is recovered by the receiving team. So I'm going to tell you what, I'm the official. Once again, we only have 4 in this game, and this is, of course, they kick it to the side where there's only one official, right? That's the way it always works. All right. So, but think about our mechanics. Okay. So when you're doing a play like this, if you have the kicking team's restraining line, you have the blocks. The receiving team restraining line officials have the touch. In this, you kind of have to do dual coverage because you don't have an official over there. But that still doesn't alleviate the official who's on the line from trying to come across, which was me, and take a look at what we have. So just know that. Somebody's got to look at the contact. So what happens is that I've moved down because no longer, right now, the kicking team line, you got to make sure that, this is a pane of glass. I learned that this last year. Not a plane, it's a pane of glass. So if you break the pane of glass, then it's encroachment. That doesn't happen here. Ball's kicked, everybody's legal. So now that has been accomplished, as the official in a game like this where we don't have another official up there and the ball's going that way, got to move in a position to where you can see blocks. And right there, I see a block, and like I said, the ball is still on the ground. He hasn't been touched yet. And now you've got that block. So I have a block, and I see a ball on the ground, and it opens up to me. Now, it's funny because the official at the top of the screen doesn't see any of this because he's looking through backs. He's looking through the backs. He doesn't see any of it, but I see it, and now the official who's next to me should also see it as well, which is interesting. What ends up happening is that he drops his bag. Now, if you look at me down here, I see this, and I'm about to throw my flag, but I don't want to throw it I don't want to throw it across the field. So I actually keep, the film cuts off, but I'm running in closer, and I drop my flag as I get a little bit closer because I know what I have. Now, after this play, there's a discussion about everything that everybody out there has discussed. Was it touched first before the opportunity? So if you got the receiving team that touches the ball now, all bets are off. Okay, because now the kicking team, once the ball's been touched by the receiving team, is legally able to block. So you have to ask yourself that question. But I know that didn't happen in this play. I know that player had not touched the ball prior to him being blocked. So I know that the kicking team was not eligible to block, and they blocked. So that's a foul. All right, but all very, very good questions.